Howdy folks, how are we? Thanks for joining me in the brewery. I've got another bottle of beer that's been sent to me, and this is part of the Twang Files. This is another brewer who is using a method. Now, this isn't necessarily directly related at the Twang Files. I'm going to tag it in here because we're doing those sort of thing. This beer grabbed my eye. As I said, I've been sort of keeping a bit of an eye out for different methods and things that people are using with their kit beers to see, where different methods are being used and what other people are doing. And by and large, thinking or claiming, stating they're getting really good results. And I've been looking at that to incorporate those methods into my own experiments, but also been looking to go look at these beers, and get some tasters coming in. As I said, I don't have access to a brew club or a large amount of home brewers, so I'm not getting regular access to other brewers' beers to see what different methods, how that equates to the actual final beer. So I've been approaching different brewers when I see sort of methods that catch my eye to see if they're willing to send me some beers to try. And this is another one that falls in that case. I said we had Michael Holding and Jim Best, who both sent me beers with different methods and stuff that we've implemented and we'll be implementing into some trial brews. This is another brewer. As I said, this one isn't particularly directed at the Twang itself, but this beer really caught my eye. And in all honesty, it caught my eye for all the wrong reasons. The post that caught my eye was from this brewer, and it showed a beer that was quite highly, in my opinion, was quite highly carbonated. Few people over some of his posts have commented the same sort of thing, but I then was looking at his process and his method, and thought, oof, okay. I said, caught my eyes for the wrong reasons. This beer was very highly carbonated, which straight away to me says carbonic bite, that metallic chewing on alfoil sort of a flavour that you get from a highly carbonated beer, or you can get from a beer that's got excessive carbonation with that high CO2 level. Then I was looking at the process and more so the ingredients within that process. I'm going to talk about them in a second. I'm going to give this a crack and a pour. A little bit of smoke there, not an excessive gassing, but that lid was fairly, very easy to remove, as you just saw, considering it's a twist top. But we're going to pour on. While I'm doing that, big shout out to all the supporters of the channel, the Patreons. First and foremost, thank you guys for your support. As always, it's greatly appreciated. There's a link down the bottom in the video to the Patreon if you're interested in having a look at it. If you subscribe to the channel, thank you. If you aren't, there's a link down the bottom. And if you just like the video, give me a thumbs up. Now, that is a non-nucleated glass. It's a very standard glass, and I'll use that on purpose because I didn't want to have excessive carbonation. This is a Headmaster schooner. Let's pour one in here. Okay. The glass looks a bit iffy, but there is certainly a significant level of carbonation in that glass. Now I don't know how much light you are going to pick up on, but that is quite heavily carbonated. It's not going too bad there in the standard glass. That's fine. But anyway, so I said, what got me was the ingredients. This is a standard kit tin, based on a kit tin. Now, I don't exactly know what kit tin he's used in this brew. He uses the same method regardless of the base tin. He called this a golden bitter ale. So that doesn't tally up with any particular kit. So I don't know whether it's a golden ale base, whether it's I thought it might have been a Morgan's Queensland bitter perhaps, because they have the Morgan's, or could be the Morgan's Queensland Gold, because that is a bitter, so that would sort of make sense to me. But he hasn't elaborated on exactly what is in the tin. But what he does is he takes the tin, he takes it out to 28 litres. But it's the ingredients that have got me. 1 kilo of brown sugar and 1 cup of white sugar. And that's it, added to the tin. Process as normal. He basically adds them to the tin. He's listed a couple of times in comments about following the method and making really good beer, and he's linked up one post he made probably early mid last year, where he went step by step through his process, and basically was dumping the brown sugar and the white sugar into the fermenter, adding the tin, which he sat in a sink of hot water, rinsing the tin with boiling water, as that is very standard, mixing up the 28 litres, then adding his tin yeast, 1 pack of kit yeast, once he's done under 28 degrees, mixing it in, sealing up the fermenter, into the fermenter and fermenting. From what I could tell from the pictures, he's fermenting at ambient temperature. Reading further in through his post, I believe he is in Tasmania. But either way, no temperature control is used. He leaves it to ferment for 6 days and bottles. No checking of gravities. He just visualises a levelled off airlock as being done. So there's no recording of original gravities or final gravities. I've ran this through the spreadsheet calculator. It gives me a estimated OG of somewhere around 1037, and a finish of somewhere between 1001 and 1005. It's estimating 1005, but it wouldn't surprise me it goes a bit lower with all that when it's just just sugar in the mix. Now, I did come across a post where he's claiming he's getting 6.2% alcohol, and he had a bit of a shindig. He had a bit of an argument with a very well-known brewer. I might just actually point out the brewer who has actually won first place at the Australian Home Brewing Nationals, so it does know his thing. But did have quite a lengthy discussion around claiming that his brew was 6.2%. There's no way in the world his brew was anywhere near 6.2%, going off the ingredients he's listing, without adding something substantial to it. At best, this brew is running somewhere between 4.5% and 5.2%, and that's generous, and with carbing. So carbing, he's bottling with a large heaped teaspoon of sugar. So again, assuming just white sugar. Again, from posts I've seen, white sugar seems to be the carbing method. So that beer's nice and clear. That's would be expected of a beer that is. This was bottled on the 21st of February. It took him, he forgot a little bit to get it to me, but it took a bit longer, but that's fine. So that means at this point in time, we are 4, 5, 5.5 weeks old, so it's got a little bit of conditioning on it. The carbonation is not so crazy now. It's still fairly solid though. That's not crystal clear, but it is, you know, deep into the bottle on the second pour, and it would have pulled up a little bit of crud off the bottom. Poured a nice, there's a nice head there. On the nose straight away, green apple. First thing I get is green apple, and that's that's no surprise, given the kit yeast and the all sugar content. But anyway, apart from that nose, I'm not getting anything else. I'm not picking up any malt. No, nothing from the kit. Anyway, let's have a crack at it. Okay, yeah. The mouthfeel's actually quite nice with the carb level, and now that it's settled down, it's not too bad. And like I said, there's nothing excessive about that. I think what he's probably doing, he's pouring a beer and he's videoing it very, immediately after it's been poured, and it's still quite vicious. From being released from the bottle. As anyone in the bottle knows, carbonation is definitely, it's more rushed, and it is more active when you initially pour, when you first open that bottle, before it has time to release from the beer a little bit. When it first releases, it does get carried away. Yeah, what's it? Got a nice mouthfeel. It's Twang kit beer. It's got that there. There's no doubt about it. I'm not getting any malt. I'm not getting any hops. Yeah. All I'm getting is all I'm getting is twang. It's not really coming across tang, but I'm getting that off flavour. I'm getting fermentation problems. A yeast that's clearly struggled to do what it's got to do. A beer that's not had time to condition and clear itself. It's actually not. It's actually. I don't know how. Didn't know the best way to put that. It's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. And in all honesty, I thought this was going to be quite bad. And the initial nose was like, yeah, here we go. I really thought this was going to be quite savage on the yeast notes, but it's not. It is definitely, it's more just there is nothing here to eliminate any kit twang. All those things that you read about happening in your beer from using brown sugar and white sugar, using the super refined sugars, are all displayed in this beer. All the reasons you don't use them are right here. Okay, so I want to thank the brewer who sent me this. I'm not going to name him. I said I thank him for sending the beers, allowing me to try the brew and have a look at his process. And again, as I say all the time, he's obviously very happy with the beer he's producing and what he's getting. I said it's not as best. This is not as bad as I thought it was, and I've certainly tasted worse home brewed. There's no doubt about that. I've made worse. But I couldn't happily sit down, 3 or 4 nights a week and drink, several glasses of that. That is not good beer, not by any stretch. But anyway, so another method that doesn't produce any miracles, but as I said, for me, really, it does reinforce that, yes, you can make cheap beer that, some people are going to find palatable, but there's a big difference between cheap and palatable and good, and this is, for me, this is part of the whole thing of the education around the beer. It's fine to differentiate the two, to have them separate. I'm happy for you to drink, palatable beer that's cheap, if that's what you're after, if that's where you're at. But you've got to realise that that's what you're making. You've got to realise you're not making good beer. It's said all the time, and I say it, and everyone says it, and I say it again. You want to make good beer, you've got to have good ingredients, you've got to have good process. Using cheap ingredients does not get you a good product. It's just the way it is. But anyway, guys and gals, thank you for joining me. Like I said, Patreons, thank you. Subscribers, thank you. Links are down the bottom of all these things if you're interested. Comments and questions down the bottom. But for now, thanks for joining me. We can't continue on with Twang Files. We're still looking to work this out. We're still looking to make the best beers we can. But for now, till I see you in the next video, and we brewing beer, drinking beer, or talking beer. Good brewing.